Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I am on location, which, yeah, doesn't look like my normal surroundings. Traveling. Traveling. Yeah. For those of you guys that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath. I may have said that. I always forget if I say it. When you say your intros so much, you forget you said your intros. So I wanted to chat with you about the title that you just read that drew in lessons from wearing the crown. And I had a really interesting evening. Me and a sweet friend have just come back from Victoria and Albert's, where we had the most amazing dinner of my life, and I am not exaggerating. I will tomorrow. I left the menus in the cars, and you said the menus in the cars. What are you talking about? Well, I didn't steal the menus. They actually print out your menu for you specifically with whatever your allergy requirements are and your name, and they put it in this beautifully finished envelope with your name on the envelope as well as a keepsake. So those are in the truck, and when I get a chance, I will take a look and we'll go over that. For anybody that's a foodie and interested in just hearing about the amazingness, I can't even wait to read it back because just the experience was amazing. I will put some pictures up on my community page as well, and maybe load a quick little short that I took, I think, when they were bringing coffee out. The coffee experience is like done at the table. We all like went crazy for Keurigs, and now I personally have an espresso because I really love coffee and I love that crema that Nespresso yields. It's fantastic. But especially because I try to do it dairy free, like with almond milk, and so it gives me like the the mouthfeel of cream. It's very nice. But what happened tonight was just extraordinary. Anyway, y'all didn't hear. You're not here for Victoria and Albert's review. Y'all, can you see? I am stuck, starstruck, and stunned by that experience. What you are here to hear about is what it is like to wear the crown. Now, any one of us can get a crown off of anybody's Amazon, off of anybody's Etsy. I would highly recommend Etsy crowns. They are amongst some of my favorites. And I know you would say, Monette, are you a pageant girl? No, I'm not. Meaning, why would I have cause to dabble in such high crownery? Well, I am a Leo, and so that has caused that. But what I got tonight were so many interesting lessons that I wanted to share with you, and I was talking with my companion about it, and I was just like, this is so funny, something you never think about. We all ask for our crowns. Crown me, recognize me, give me what it is that I deserve. If it's a job you've been after, if it's a connection you've been after, if it's an opportunity, if it's your own finding of yourself that you've been after. And we all have those moments where we're like, I deserve this, I've worked for this, it is mine to have. And then we get it, and it feels cumbersome to us, and we don't really know what to do with it. We don't really know how to handle it well. I am usually working inside, and so my crowns can easily be put on inside, and I can bebop around my home, and all is well. And I never have to think about what it's like to be outside in the world with a crown, right? That doesn't happen too often. Well, I found myself in the last couple months having many occasions to wear outside crowns. And one of the things tonight, and this is a pretty elaborate, I don't know if you guys can see it, this is a pretty elaborate piece, and for an incredibly elaborate night. If you Google Victoria and Albert's, you will understand, like, this was a moment. It took me like 30 minutes to get the reservation. I was like fighting it, like, angels, open it up, open it up. Anyway, so very special. And so I was like, I'm wearing a crown. My companion wore a crown as well. So we definitely, did our thing. But here's the thing that I thought was so cool about this is when I was getting into my SUV, like, I had to lean back, y'all. Hey, I had to lean back and do the rockaway, right? I had to lean back in order to get in and kind of like scoop myself into the vehicle. And my angels were like, oh, this is a video. And the reason I say that is because it was like I had asked for this thing figuratively, but we asked for things actually, right? And I'd asked for this thing, and then I got it. and then I'm living and existing in it, but it's not fitting me, or it fits, but I'm having to manage it. And they were talking about your own personal experiences where you have an adjustment period. Now, when we got inside, all was well, and my companion commented as we were exiting this evening, um, after a crazy long service is 4 hours, and it was longer than 4 hours there. We like got there at 5:30 and we leave till like 12, so it was crazy. Like we were like, anyway. So after a very long evening, she was like, "Look at that! You adjusted mighty fine to wearing your crown on the inside," and it made me think about us being in spaces that are too small for us, emotionally and energetically, and overstaying our welcome, and then being uncomfortable. Because I remember being in the SUV and being so uncomfortable because my head doesn't hit the top of my SUV, but it did with this on. I'm tall anyway, but it did with this on. And I was like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. But in the Queen Victoria room at Victoria and Albert's, that was not the case. Everything fit just fine. We fit in there just fine. And it was like it was meant to be. It was really very beautiful. But also, it's because I left the space that was too small and that was cramping and crowding me. And I went to the place where I could be free and where magic could happen. Guys, it was such a magical night. I guess this is going to be a part review. I guess I should update the title. Um, it was such a magical night. It is Black History Month, and several of the wait staff, because you were handled by no less, we had no less than 10 people attending to us tonight, and that's not even an exaggeration. It might be an underestimation, actually. And so they came up, the maitre d' and everybody, and they came up and they said, do you notice anything about the music? And we noticed that it was contemporary, like we were singing along. We're like, oh, is that The Weeknd, or is that Beyonce, or is that Lift Every Voice and Sing? And they said, yeah, it's Black History Month. And so they had a harpist. So when I'm talking about the music, this wasn't like a dinner band. They had a harpist. Her name was Elizabeth, and we did get a chance to chat with her before the night was over and let her know what a blessing she was. And my angels had downloaded to me that she had like researched and talked to her like orchestra buddies about it and stuff like that. And she confirmed that when she came over to the table. It was so funny. Me and my friend were laughing because we were like, we just had this conversation, we know. And she was like, I researched it and I just really wanted it to be, like honorable but still really interesting. She did such a beautiful job. Anyway, they let us know that for Black History Month that they had commissioned her to play artists, and all of the artists were like number one hit selling, but all of the artists were African American. Um, so it was just really nice, and me and my companion happened to be the only two African American people in the restaurant that evening. So I think that they were happy to share that with us. It was one of those. It was an interesting moment for us, and it was really nice to really get to thank the harpist, because that was like, first of all, having someone play the harp throughout your whole dinner. And I did take a little bit of video with that, because the most magical thing happened, guys. First of all, okay, so let me go back. Having someone play the harp, that's amazing. Having someone play the harp and it's The Weeknd, that's amazing. We were like, we have to tell her to put DJ Khaled. All I do is win, win, win. Like, anybody in there is going to go up when they hear DJ Khaled, no matter what. So anyway, that was so funny. That was such a good moment. But so the harpist, yes, I got off track. Oh, so one of the songs that she plays, and my hair is a little bit of a giveaway, right? The color of my hair. So one of the songs that she plays is Pure Imagination. Now at the beginning of it, the wait staff had done something. We were talking about how things were edible, and because they had things that were like looked like wrappers and they were edible, and it was like a lot of I don't know if this is much molecular gastronomy as it was elevated gourmet fine dining. Yeah. So anyway, uh we were making some Charlie in the chocolate. He said, you guys got me thinking about Willy Wonka. Well, we just did a Willy Wonka picnic. I will put a couple pictures of that up. We did a Willy Wonka themed picnic, and it was magic. Anyway, so she plays Pure Imagination. Now she has no idea that we did this like yesterday, but she plays it, and my heart, y'all. I love Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory. I fashioned my manifestation style from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, meaning as a child, it was one of the first things or first times when I understood that manifestation is as easy as that. Like, you can have something or you can get something or want something, and you don't have to like work a million years. Like, magic and providence can happen. Pardon me, guys. Girl. Mm, mm. They had this one dish, and it was like blood orange over a Kalamata olive soil. And I can't place a nut. I don't know if it was Brazil nut or pine nut, but it was like an herbaceous nut that was pretty fatty. It was so good. Oh my God. I love salted fruit. And so that was like a delight, like a revelation. I was like, Kalamata soil. Why did I put that? It was so, guys, so good. It was so good. So anyway, yeah, she plays Willy Wonka, and we just all go up. It was amazing. It was such a magic moment. I was like, ah, angels, you guys are here. I feel like a lot of magic has happened. Anyway, for those of you that came in for the crown part, here's what you should know. Sometimes you'll have to leave places that are too small and never meant to hold you. I would not enjoy wearing my crown in my SUV all the time. It would be uncomfortable. But sitting in a room like I was tonight, I very much enjoyed wearing my crown. And it felt very appropriate too. It felt very appropriate. And that's another part of the lesson. When you're in the right space, you'll feel it. It'll feel good. Remember I said this is what it feels like? That's been such a running theme for me from the Queen's Gambit. The Queen. Oh my God. I love when my angels do it. You see, they do it like, I don't even know what's happening, y'all. Like, I just get these downloads. The Queen's Gambit. Tonight we were in the Queen Victoria room. Victoria and Albert's. Yeah, the Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit. Any of the gambits are about plays in chess. I'm just learning, all right, guys? I know we're learning in a more expansive way. The Queen's Gambit is an interesting thing. And here's what I want you to know about it. It's about figuring out what works for you. What's your strategy? And a strategy for survival isn't to stay someplace that can't hold your crown, your sombrero, your 10-gallon hat, your ball cap, your fitted, your scully, your earmuffs. Whatever you adorn yourself with, whatever your true north is, leave places that encumber you, leave people that encumber you, and be self-aware. I heard It's Me, I'm the Problem, It's Me by Taylor Swift on the way home tonight. And she talks about her covert narcissism showing. And my companion has watched my videos and grown with me here and all of that. You guys have met her in a couple videos ago, Momo. Please go check out her channel. And she said, wow, you know, you sprinkled this into the zeitgeist. Everybody's talking about covert narcissism, which was something I started really unraveling years ago. Well, a few, not many, but still, I really understood, like, sometimes we're missing something. And I think that regarding crowns and people, when you're around narcissists, coverts or otherwise, your true self can't shine. You can't wear your crown. Around the covert narcissists that I knew, I couldn't even literally actually wear this crown. Like, I remember getting semi-dressed up for dinner. Like, I had not even begun to really do anything yet. And in my life at that point, and her shooting it down, belittling me, being terrible. That's the same feeling I got tonight when I tried to get into my SUV. Just bumping my head and being like, this is not supposed to, oh, this is uncomfortable. Like, oh my God. That's what it feels like to be around a narcissist all the time. You lose your north. You lose what makes you happy because they want you to, because they hate you being happy. And how dare you have the audacity to wear a crown? She would shit herself with all of her insecurities. That's why we have to move sometimes, guys, because sometimes we're in places that are filled with other people's insecurities. So how could a crown ever fit? Leave those places, leave those people, leave those jobs. Am I Beyonce right now? Quit your job. Don't let it break your soul. Yeah, maybe don't quit your job, but quit the things that are laborious to you. Quit the energy exerts that cost so much. Quit pretending that you fit in places that make you uncomfortable. Because the truth is, everyone around you knows that you have a crown. You're the last one to look around and realize that they're looking at you and that there's work for you to do. They're wondering why you're there too. A lot of the people in your life take you for granted and they know that they're crazy. They know there's a psychosis when empaths are afoot. When we abound, psychosis is around because people look at us and they're like, I know you're magic. I also am going to try to take advantage of you. I hope you don't see me. They think they're like the Pink Panther, tiptoeing away right before our eyes into their fuckery and shenanigans. But we see them. They know you don't belong there. This is very poignant for someone here. They know you don't belong there. They knew that they had gotten away with murder. Some of you guys have already walked away from these people. They knew they got away with murder. They were holding their breath. But then a funny thing happens with these con artists and narcissists is they get really cocky and they start to overplay their hand and they think you'll never, ever leave. That's my favorite part. You know, I got a couple invitations tonight for readings, referrals. Shout out to my sweet, sweet lady from the A, maybe returning back to the A. You know who you are. And she said that and I will get back to you about that, but she said that she had some referrals for narcissistic recovery coaching because that's the kind of work that she and I do. And in the coaching that I do with people, the thing that I enjoy the most is creating for the narcissist that conundrum. If you want to know where to really get a narcissist, it's to let them feel that you are never going. Meanwhile, pack your bags because you were leaving the whole time. A lot of people get caught up in like, how do I re-injure them? How do I get them back? Well, we don't always get to levy that in the way that we want because a lot of us are connected to emotional responses. And in order for you to stay safe from a narcissist, you just have to leave so you don't get to see the back and forth, right? But if you leave them while they are certain that you are worthless, dependent, codependent, and for some of us, we all are at some point. When you do that, what you create in them is an injury that is your shape and size that will never be healed. And it's the closest to morality and reflection that they ever come. It doesn't mean that they change. Y'all, don't kid yourself. But what it does mean is that if there is any chance in God's green earth, in heaven and hell, for there to be redemption, you doing that move is... What? What? Of course. I think we always knew she was gay. It's a whole HBO season with her POV. I'm confused. I like everybody. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I'm gonna be out in a second. Okay. All right. Thelma's queer. Like, we all knew Thelma was queer, y'all. Everybody knew Thelma was gay. Didn't you watch Scooby-Doo and knew Thelma was gay? I had a crush on Thelma. Thelma was hot. She would be my, like, little nerdy girlfriend. Anyway, that move, back to the narcissist NDM, that move, girl, yeah, I don't know, it's like 2 in the morning. I don't know what time it is. I'm like delirious. Back to the narcissist in them. When you leave, when they are least expecting it, even if they know you're doing it, even if, like, let's say the covert narc and all of their flying monkeys were watching the video that were in my life, even her hearing it, she still can't unravel the damage and the ascension. See, what you leave them when you leave like that, what you leave them with when you leave like that, is the ability to ascend and grow. Does that make sense? You give them the opportunity to take a look at their bullshit because they will miss you for the rest of their lives. This is not a get back game because it's never going to feel good to you the way that you think. Like, for them, who are sadistic, and derive great pleasure from people's pain, it would be amazing. They'd be like, this is freaking amazing. I love that they'll never heal. I don't think about that person. I don't like that person. I don't miss that person. We heal differently. We actually heal. We actually move on. We move on, don't we, guys? We don't stay stuck. Now, we also go through periods of celibacy, of removal from other humans, of hermiting. It is all part of the spiritual evolution and upcycling experience once you've left a narcissist. But, that doesn't last forever. God, why am I thinking of Diddy? Whoever is watching, I'm rolling my eyes thinking of you and laughing about this. Diddy, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Now or never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who do it better. The sun don't shine forever. You shined for a long time in someone's life, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. You tried to work with someone who wouldn't work with you. Now or never, you said to them. Business before pleasure. You meant it. Now you do it better, and you do it solo. You dreamt it. You made it. You inhabited it. You manifested it. You downloaded it. It was an escrow for you. You knew what to do. You had to leave that small and very crowded room because a crown wouldn't fit. And they did love to nitpick. And there are rooms that were meant to hold you. And there were crowns that were fit for you, and they broke the mold after you. There's adjusting in wearing a crown. There are heavy decisions. There are heavy ideas. There are heavy interpersonal interactions that come when you carry yourself like an empress, a divine feminine, your feminine, divine feminine, or divine masculine. We make our adjustments. People have to adjust around us, and we have to adjust around people. But what we should never do is have to lean back and shrink in order to fit in spaces that were never designed to hold our magnificence. All right, at 22 minutes on the clock, 7 o'clock, all like that, I'll be my drop top. Y'all, she was playing some 90s jams, some 2000 jams. She was jamming the harpist Elizabeth. Shout out to Elizabeth. We were like, you play Lift Every Voice at 6. She was like, oh my gosh, we play that all the time in my church. Now, Elizabeth was also Caucasian. I just loved this woman. She was delightful. I love musicians. I loved that her thought process was exactly what I would have done. I would have called up my homies. I would have been like, oh my goodness, I have this gig at Victoria and Albert's. I need to learn contemporary music by Black artists that are stars. It was so well done. I think there was even a little Michael. Yes, Michael was on. Because it was so funny. We were talking about Beyonce and Beyonce's concerts, right? Like going this year. I was like, I feel like it's like an anthropological thing that I must check off on my bucket list to like be around the sea of people to sing the songs out loud. Like she's the Michael of our generation. And so I was texting my friend that's here with me about that. And I was like, she's the Michael of my fucking generation. We have to go. So we were like really looking at tickets and she's like signed up to Ticketmaster, or not Ticketmaster, sorry, Taylor. Whatever. She signed up to ticket something so that like we can be on top of it because I think we're about to do this. I think I'm also gonna go see Weezy at Baby. Please say the baby. Oh my god. I'm gonna be the old lady there. I never thought it'd be me, but it's gonna be me. Alright guys, I love you so much. Adjust, and get, well, let's say this. Adjust and leave them in the dust. And get into a place where your crown is not an option. It's a must. All right. I love you guys so much. Come back and join me next time. We will continue to evolve together.